All right. Hey there. I'm Bill, Director of Marketing for Salora ERP, the NetSuite Healthcare guys, and welcome to Complete the Suite, our weekly live AMA and Q&A for anything NetSuite and accounting related. Each week we'll be rotating through a roster of heavy-hitting consultants from the NetSuite space. This week we're joined by Allan Paul, CPA, and Zeke Morilla, who between them bring well over a decade of NetSuite and accounting experience. Welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah, hello. Thanks, Bill. So, hi, my name is Ezekiel Morilla. They call me Zik. So, I've been in NetSuite space for around 6 years now, and then I'm part of Salora for 4 years, going five now. So, my main expertise is order to cash, billing processes, suite billing, approval workflows, PDFs, you name it. How about you, Alan?
Hey there, guys. Allan here. I'm a CPA and I've been in the NetSuite space for almost 6 years now. And yeah, my main focus are manufacturing, inventory, costing, warehouse management, MRP, demand planning, and any other business-related processes. But yep, excited for this one.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining us, especially with how busy this week has been for our company. I know there are a few go lives happening and a few support tickets flying around and about 12 other things competing for your attention at any given time. So, genuinely, thank you for making time for this.
Yeah, sure. It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. So, while we wait for our producer to string together some of the questions coming in from the viewers, let's do a little sync up. A quick look at what's new, what's happening, and what's coming up in the world of NetSuite.
Yep.
All right. So let's start with an
Yeah, sure.
obvious one. NetSuite next. There's been a lot of talk around AI becoming more native in NetSuite. From your perspective, is this a real shift in how people will use the platform, or is it more of an evolution of what was already coming? What does that mean for people like you, functional consultants?
Well, I'd say it's both. I mean, it's an evolution of where NetSuite was already going, but it feels like it's a real shift in how users may interact with the system. And, we're moving from a more menu-driven experience towards something more like conversational and guided,
Yeah.
I think.
I think in addition to that, for people like us as a functional consultant, it's very helpful, of course, don't get me wrong, but I don't think this makes us less relevant. If anything, I think it makes our role more important because somebody still has to design the process, right? Define the logic, make sure that the AI is working inside a clean and well structured environment.
Yeah, totally agree. And super interesting to hear that from you guys. Very refreshing. So let's zoom out a little bit as Oracle as a whole has been pushing hard into healthcare AI. NetSuite obviously lives under that bigger umbrella of Big Brother Oracle. So I'm curious, how much of that innovation do you think eventually trickles down to us, the NetSuite on the NetSuite side, especially when it comes to finance, visibility, reporting, and operational decision making in healthcare?
Yeah, let me go first, Alan. I don't think it
Yeah,
means
sure.
NetSuite suddenly becomes a clinical system per se, but the or if when Oracle pushes innovation at top, it usually change expectations across the stack. So at the NetSuite level, that probably means more pressure for better visibility, faster reporting, and smarter decision support on the finance and operational side of things.
Well, I guess in addition
Okay.
to that, the first place I'd expect that to matter is that, patient care directly, but I guess everything supporting it, billing, visibility, vendor management, it could be inventory planning, reporting, and compliance-oriented workflows. I guess that's where NetSuite can really benefit from an Oracle's bigger AI direction. That's my thought there.
Okay. All right. All right. That's a
Yeah.
very interesting take there. And I think the biggest takeaway here is that NetSuite may be getting smarter, but that also means the way people use it and the consultants that support it, they're also evolving too. And I'm just hearing from our producer, AB, that we've got our first question in. All right. All right, let's get into our first big question of the night. And I like this one because it's a very real world question. Um, all right. Let me just see what AB sent over. Okay. So here's the question. All right. We're updating the slide as we go. From the viewer, I think his name's Justin. All right, Justin says we're planning to activate MRP and demand planning in NetSuite, and we know we'll likely need outside help to get it right. But before we commit to working with anyone, whether that's well, Solora or another partner, we want to make sure we're going into those conversations prepared. What should we be thinking about getting in order or watching out before we engage? Now, I know Alan, this is more of your field. What do you think? I know as a producer, I know the producer sent us some more information about this viewer situation on Slack a little earlier to review. So take your time.
Well, it looks like we're kicking this one off with a tough question already. But all good. Yeah, I get that information in Slack. Looks like AB sent it in Slack. You're right. Yep. But yeah, before we
Yeah.
actually dive into actual MRP and demand planning, if that could really help Justin, I guess what we need to prepare, or we just need to know, we just need to understand the business process. What are the item setups that you are using? How do you want NetSuite, or even how do you currently calculate your demands? Because from there, we would tailor the solution from your existing process, of course. And also, aside from that, before we uh, go more deeply, I just wanted to mention that there are actually other options because NetSuite actually has three ways to calculate demand and replenishment. We have the simplest one, what we just called reorder point, wherein the demand and uh, replenishment is being calculated based on the data enter on the item level. Like it's just a number uh, on the location level where we enter the reorder point and prepared stock level. That's the simplest one. And then we also have the demand planning, wherein the demand is based on actual historical orders, or it could be based on open orders, existing orders. And then lastly, we have the MRP, which I would say the Pro Max version of demand planning. And I guess for this one, looking at the facts sent in Slack here, so I could pull key things that could be the deciding factor on which is the best solution for this one. It looks like they're gonna be using assembly items with bombs of up to 4 levels deep. Wow. And oh, okay, so the demand
Wow.
calculation is based on actual orders and forecast. So it's a combination of actual orders and forecast. Okay. That being said,
All
I
right.
think the best solution here is maybe a combination of MRP and demand planning, not just MRP. The reason I said that is because of how MRP is set up. Let me just share my screen here. Just wanted to show you what I'm talking about. Let me
Sure, go
just
ahead.
go to.
Take over the screen. Go ahead.
There you go. Can you guys see my screen? I'm looking at one of our
Yep,
demo
yep, yep.
accounts here, and currently one on my screen. I'm looking at supply plan definition. This is actually the main record that we need to use in order for us to run demand or to calculate demand using MRP. From this record, per location, we could actually set how we want NetSuite to calculate the demands. Based on the facts from Justin, they said that the demand would be calculated based on actual orders and demand plans. So that being said, we just have to select the location. Of course, it's per location. You can calculate demand per location differently, but for this instance, we just have to select sales orders and demand plans. Sales orders represents the actual demand based on actual orders, and demand plans represents the demand based on forecast, which per Justin here, they are also manually creating forecast on top of the actual orders. So to actually do that in NetSuite, I said earlier that it's a combination of MRP and demand planning. So this is MRP side, and the demand planning side is the demand plan record. Because here, if we are using demand planning in NetSuite, we actually have a way to we can still create manual demand. You mean forecast? You can create forecast outside NetSuite using maybe an Excel or spreadsheet and then import it in NetSuite as an item demand plan record. Or if we have enough data in NetSuite, we could even let NetSuite calculate demand based on certain projection method. I think there's another data here mentioned by Justin that there are some products that are actually seasonal. So if we take a look at this four projection method, we actually have linear regression, we have moving average, sales forecast, and we even have seasonal average. So I guess this would answer, or this would calculate demand accurately for those type of seasonal items given by Justin here. And then going back on the supply plan definition record, once we have the item demand plan record configured and we have historical data to capture the demand, if we run this one, I don't have a sample here yet, but let me just pull one documentation that we prepared internally. Hold on. Let me just share my other screen.
Go ahead, man. No
Just
worries.
wanted to show how the planning workbench look like if we were able to run the demand based on the supply plan definition record. So after we run it, uh, MRP has its own planning workbench. This one, not sure if you guys can see my screen clearly or they want me to zoom in a bit. Hold on.
I think that's clear. It's clear. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So, yep, going back to the facts as well, since Justin mentioned that they are using assembly items and it could go to up to 4 levels of BOM. If we are actually using MRP, we could calculate the demand based on the header assembly itself. And then from there, NetSuite MRP could calculate the demand and the replenishment needed up to the last component as well. So on my example here, I actually ran the demand just for the parent. And if you could see here, it calculates the supply and demand for the components as well. So this is very useful for this kind of process if we have multiple levels of BOM because you're just doing one calculation at the header level and then NetSuite would then calculate all the demands down up to the last subcomponents. And then aside from that, NetSuite MRP has what we call pegging on the workbench itself, which means that you could see all the link transaction. For example, right here, uh, the parent assembly, the demand is based on the demand plan. And then from there, we could even see the related purchase orders for the component as well. So it's a very useful thing. But yep, I guess that's actually it, at least for the overview of MRP. We could discuss it further if we need more details. But yeah,
All right. Cool.
okay,
All right. Thanks, Alan. I think 4 years of the
sure.
company, I honestly would have a hard time slinging off requirements and lingo like that. Really, thank you. And the producer just pinged me that we've got another question ready already. And this time I'm betting it's for Zeke. But before that, let's take a quick breather. Alan, let me ask you, and also Zeke, what does your perfect afternoon look like?
Oh well, for me, a perfect afternoon is maybe a good food, calm place, nice conversation, and just feeling relaxed with the right person. That sounds romantic though. But, okay.
What about you, Zeke?
Yeah, I'm planning. I was hoping to be quiet for the remainder of the meeting, but I think the plan has been canceled. So my perfect afternoon look like just a quick nap, like a 15 to 30-minute nap. I think that's a perfect afternoon for me.
Oh, dude, that sounds so good. Honestly, hearing those things makes me wish that we were doing doing that instead. Napping and
Yeah.
just spending time with our loved ones.
Yeah.
But we do have another question to get here. Now, Zeke, it's your time to shine. And from what I've heard, this is really your area of expertise, right?
Let's
So
see. Let's see.
here's the viewer's question. I'm just waiting for AB to update the slides before we move on. Okay, cool. All right, question 2. All right, we're trying to figure out whether billing schedules in NetSuite are the right fit for our beauty business. Oh, we deal with
Wow.
pre-orders, wholesale commitments, and recurring replenishment. How would Salora ERP approach setting up so billing is accurate, operations stay on track, and finance can still report cleanly? This is coming from Marie. Thoughts, Zeke?
Yeah. So actually, you're correct. That's my line of expertise. So just to straight answer for a beauty company, right? Beauty business, billing schedule can absolutely work for a business like that. But of course, we need to know the overall structure. How's the ordering process, fulfillment process, not just the billing itself. So and there's a question on our approach. So basically, on the top of my head, I'm thinking that our basic approach here is a hybrid billing model, not just a one size fits all setup, you know. But I just want to expound the billing schedule per se in NetSuite. So billing schedule
Okay.
are best used when the invoice timing and amount are known in advance because they are designed to bill sales over time or across a contract term. Let's say, for example, for a year, quarterly, something like that. And a good thing here as well is that the billing schedule can be applied at the whole sales order level or a per line level, which means that, let's say, for example, for the order combination of item one, two, and three, the item one could be different schedule, the item two could be different, and then the item three could be different. And then, yeah, so going back to the business model, which beauty business, you mentioned that dealing with pre-orders, wholesale commitments, and recurring replenishment. So our Salora, we in Salora, we implement this kind of business. We usually approach in three layers. All right. So first and foremost is aligning the billing with the commercial model, right? And the second, I know you mentioned that how should be the operations stay on track. So we keep the operation and fulfilling in sync. And then last is the finance can still report cleanly. Yes, we do. We also protect the financial reporting if they use revenue recognition, something like that. We basically align it to the billing operation as well. So yeah, let's dig deep on the pre-orders, wholesale commitment, and recurring replenishment on how basically this could use the billing schedule in NetSuite. All right. So just like what Alan did, let me just steal your screen, Bill, and then share my screen to show
Yeah, go
you.
ahead,
I'm being competitive here, man.
man.
So let me just open, or should I share my entire screen? Okay. Let me know, guys, if you could see my screen now. So I'm
Not.
sharing the billing schedule.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. Yep.
All
Yes, we
right.
can.
So this is how the billing schedule looks like in NetSuite. So it allows us to create the structure of how should we bill a certain order, or as I've mentioned earlier, a certain line item on an order because we could apply it to the line level. So going back to the pre-orders, I know some companies require a deposit, right, or a fee upfront. So basically, the good thing in the billing schedule is we have an initial amount. It could be, as you can see, I've already put a 40% here. So it could be a percentage wise or a dollar amount if we are very certain of how much should be uh, 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 the upfront fee for that certain order. And then the remainder of the contract fee or contract amount could be invoiced on a later period of time. It could be one time, it could be multiple times by weekly, monthly, quarterly. It could be even daily, you know. So yeah, that's one thing. I hope I could answer the deals that you're doing, Marie, on the billing schedule. And next, the wholesale commitment. So since we are tying to a delivery window, I know if we are in a contract of a wholesale commitment, we already know the fixed amount on a certain dates. So good thing here in billing schedule, it could be dynamic, it could be a custom one. So if when I say dynamic, we could just put how many recurrence count that we want. Let's say, for example, I put monthly here and then I put 12. So it will be repeating on the 12 times for a monthly basis. So it could be dynamic. So once you associate it to an order, then basically the NetSuite calculates the order on a 12-month period. And then we could use as well a custom one. So I just select the recurrence frequency to custom and I put count. Let's say, for example, there's a certain months that, let's say, for example, on February or no, April 17th, I'll getting an amount of $500. And then on the next month, let's say um May 1st. So I want another $200. So something like that. So billing schedule is very flexible in getting just to meet your business use case. And then last, I know you have a deal for the recurring replenishment. So I know it this is how basically the billing schedule is powerful on the recurring billing schedule, just like the subscription style logic, right? For the recurring. I know NetSuite has a different module for the subscription type, but this billing schedule is, just like mentioned. I believe you mentioned, Alan, that you have a Pro Max version of the other stuff, but yeah, NetSuite Suite Billing is a Pro Max version as well of the billing schedule for much more complex use cases. All right. So that's one on how we align commercial models. Two, as I mentioned earlier, we keep operation and fulfillment in sync, right? So billing should I say, it should follow the operational reality of business, right? For example, we're using fulfillment figures. So invoice align with the shipment when required, or sometimes using billing schedule for deposits or contract commitments that are not independent, or that definitely independent for the fulfillment timing. So on this matter, it ensures the warehouse department, the sales department, and then the finance department are operating from a same transaction record within NetSuite space. All right. And last but not the least, the reporting side of things. So when we are trying to use the billing schedule, of course, it differs the billing cycles of a certain order. Because without this, once we create a sales order, we click invoice, it will bill all the whole amount. But with billing schedule, it gives us flexibility on how to invoice these orders or contract. And then on the financial reporting side, we make sure that the billing logic supports clean, when I say clean, flawless financial reporting by pairing these billing schedules that we are about to create. So I know most of the clients that we implemented billing schedule or is using the ARM module, so the advanced revenue management. So we make sure that it is in line with that module, so that once we pull a report, it shows a flawless report. It makes easy for the finance side to uh, check or counter check their financial balances. And then, of course, second one is to item setup. We made sure that we know that the item that we're using is for a deposit or a product revenue. So it's a more of an item setup thing. And then last but not the least, we want to have a consistent sales order workflows. So we're about to put identifier if an certain sales order is for if we are using billing schedule for a sales order, we put it on a full order basis or a line level basis. All right. So just to wrap it up, I know I'm getting long here. So for this kind of business model, we usually end up just like I mentioned earlier, a hybrid setup where deposit, fulfillment-based billing, and then recurring replenishment schedules coexist. Right. So the goal is to automate the invoicing while keep fulfillment, of course, and revenue recognition accurate. So that's typical where Salora focuses, right? Designing the billing structure. So again, the sales commitment, fulfillment, and the financial reporting are all stay aligned as the business scales. So I hope I answered Mary's question. And if you have another follow-up question, feel free to reach out. But yeah, basically that's it.
That was a lot, according to Marie.
I,
You might
I
be on
think you're
mute,
on mute,
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
Well, I was just saying that was amazing. You both of you have me taking notes for my next client, and again, yeah, you're right. If that still doesn't satisfy Marie's question, or if that's not the answer she was looking for, feel free to reach out to us after the call. Right? Cool.
We could
I
have
think we may have
another.
some.
Well,
What
I
was
was
that?
saying we could
Sorry.
have another 30 minutes to 1 hour call just to discuss the billing schedule per se.
Exactly. And I think yeah, we do have still a lot of time, and we did see a few more questions come in. AB is just putting together the slides so that we can show our viewers what the questions are.
Mhm.
But this will be rapid fire now. I think you can take as again, I do say rapid fire, but don't worry, you can take as much time as you want or need to answer the question, and it's up in the air if Alan or Zeke wants to respond. All right, cool.
Mhm.
All right,
Uh,
I'm
do,
hearing
do,
that we've
do
got
we
the
have a prize
first.
here, Bill? Do we have a prize here? Who answers the question?
You get a hug from Sean. I see that Sean is in the call, so you get a hug from Sean when you visit us at Sweet World next year. Okay, cool. I think we've got the first two questions on. We have five in total, and AB's still working on the other three that people are sending
Mhm.
in. But let's do the first one first. Can NetSuite MRP generate planned work orders based on demand, supply, and lead times? I think we kind of answered that question, but I think that's an Allan
Mhm.
question here,
Yep.
and it's from
I can
Andrew.
answer this one. Yep. Yep. And actually, yeah, it's kind of related to what we discussed earlier. But yeah, just a quick recap. So yes, NetSuite supply plans can suggest planned not just work orders but also purchase orders, and of course it's based on the actual demand depending on the supply plan definition configuration. It could be based on your actual orders, historical orders, or it could also based on forecast. But short answer, yep, yes, definitely. Mhm.
All right, cool. All right, Zeke, you have anything to add there, or I think we can move on to the second question. What
Yeah,
do you
we can
think?
move on. I'll win
Okay.
this round. I give it to him.
Yeah, Allan
All right,
wins that round from the rapid fire.
1-0
All
then.
right. But
It's best
Andrew,
of
if you have
five,
any more
man.
questions, if you have any more questions, please reach out. Okay, cool. The next one is: does NetSuite allow approval workflows for vendor bills without using email as the only approval method? It's a
I
very
give it
specific
give
one.
it to me, Alan. Just to be fair.
I was about
Yeah,
to
All
say
the
right, so
pass.
Zeke's gonna answer this one.
the short answer is yes, but the long answer is, basically NetSuite supports a lot of approval method or approval logic. Not only for the vendor bills. I know there's still a lot of customer wish or uses, email as an only approval method, but NetSuite there's a lot of things that we could configure. Actually, we implemented multiple, not only for vendor bills, but for sales order, invoices, even for quotes, purchase order. So more of a role based type or a checkbox type in the employee record. So once they put themselves in the record itself, they could see the button wherein they could approve and reject the certain record. But yeah, there's a lot of way without using the email.
All right. Okay, cool. So we've got a 1-1. Allan has one, Zeke has one. This is not a contest, but they want me to score it. All right, All right, Philip, I hope that answers your question. Next one: can a sales order in NetSuite be billed in multiple stages using billing schedules? All
Oh
right,
yeah,
up
another
in the
billing
air. Who wants
schedule.
Uh, well, this
Another
is
who
the
billing
wants to
question
answer
again.
it?
Yeah, I like the
Okay, Zeke's
question
gonna
because
answer it.
it's all answerable by yes or no. But yeah, the answer is yes again. Billing schedule can be built, as I've mentioned earlier, could be built over time, right? Across a milestone or intervals rather than just a click of a button for a single sales order. It could be monthly or quarterly, annually, or even weekly, just I have shown it to you earlier.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's two for Zeke, Allan. I'm sorry, but also,
Well, I'm still waiting for some item related stuff here.
all right. Let's see.
Give
Let's
me
see.
some
Let's see
inventory related
let's. All
questions.
right. Let's see what comes up. All right, Hannah. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Does this is going to be an easy one. It's a yes or no again. Does NetSuite support lot numbered and serialized inventory tracking natively? All right. Who wants
This one is
to
on
answer
me.
this? All right.
Yep,
Cool.
thanks, Sean. This one is on me, but yeah, short answer, yes, it's native NetSuite feature, but to give you more details, it only applies to inventory and assembly items. So for inventory and assembly, we could create three types. One is the regular one, not I mean, we don't without lot or serial numbers, and the other one, of course, is serialized, and the last one is lot numbered. But yeah, short answer, yes, but it only applies to inventory and assembly item.
All right, cool. All right, so that's two for two now. This is going to be the last question. I'm just I'm just waiting
M-
for AB to fill it up, and I'm
Maybe you can
hearing
answer
that
the
we're
last one, Bill. so that
I
we're
think yeah,
tied.
Insert
it's on.
tiebreaker.
Bill can answer this one
I,
for
I
sure.
don't want to. I don't want to answer. I don't want to embarrass myself on a live webinar. But also just to kind of let the audience know. I know we have scheduled for an hour here, but we also understand that not a lot of people can take the full hour out of their lunch breaks to watch us rant about NetSuite. So we'll be ending early after this last question. And if any questions come in after this period, just send us an email or hit us up on LinkedIn, and we'll be sure to get to them. All right, the final question that AB is providing for us is coming from Jerry. All right, Jerry says, can role permissions in NetSuite restrict a user from viewing financial reports while still allowing them to enter transactions? I actually can't answer this question, but I'll leave it up to you. I want to see who wins this one.
Do you want me to take it, Alan, or do you have? I'll give floor to you
Well,
if you want to.
just a quick idea. I know you can answer this one best, but just a quick. I think yeah, role is it's a separate permission. I think. Correct
Hmm.
me if I'm wrong, Zeke, but what I'm thinking is on the role. I mean, on transaction side, it's a separate role, while on the reporting side, yep, it can be set up on the role or it can be set up on the report itself. Yep, you could control the
Yeah.
audience or
That, that,
right.
that,
Yeah.
that is correct. So that is the main common issue with regards to when we are trying to implement NetSuite in general on the start of the engagement. We almost forget the importance of the role in NetSuite, right? So giving the right permission for a specific role gives us more flexibility when it comes to creating transaction and viewing the records. So basically, yes, the rule could restrict a user from viewing financial report because if let's say for example I'm a sales rep and I'm not allowed technically to see the overall structure of financial position of the company, so you don't give me the permission to view on that specific report, right? So yes, this is very crucial, important, and most forgotten uh feature or what they call this aspect in NetSuite. Yeah.
All right.
But
Hope I hope that
I think I'll give
answer.
the point
Yeah,
to
I hope
both.
that answer.
I think I'll give the
Oh,
point to Zeke. I'm sorry, Alan. That
okay.
was definitely fun. I didn't mean for this to become a competition, and that was really quick. You guys are seriously amazing, and the 30 minutes of us ranting about NetSuite kind of just flew by. How was your first time being on air talking about NetSuite, Alan? You can. It's not a competitive answer anymore. It's just more of a
Well,
response feedback on
I'm gonna say this is not my usual line. I'm usually used to work, at the back end. Well, we're having some client meetings, but not this kind of setup. But it's fun. I mean, I had a lot of fun here, and I also learned a lot from Zik here.
all
But
right.
yep, it's fun.
How about you, Zeke?
yeah, it's very nervous, but I'm very flattered that you, you allow us to give ourselves a chance to have you in the show and sharing our knowledge is, a
Of
NetSuite
course.
knowledge per se. Yeah, it's very, honoring as well. So yeah, just like what Alan mentioned, I'm not used to it. We often, do a meetings, discovery sessions, but this one is different. This one is real
Yeah.
different. So thank you,
I
Bill.
mean, yeah, no worries. I mean, I think you guys had very good on camera or on air chemistry. It's been amazing, and honestly I can't wait to have you guys back into rotation next week. I know it won't be you guys, but honestly, this is a great way to start off, complete the suite. So I think that might be, yep, AB is telling us that might be all the questions that we'll be able to answer on the air right now. And that's also all the time that we have for today. Alan, Zeke, thank you again so much for joining, especially during such a busy week. We really appreciate you making the time. And to everyone in the audience, thank you guys as well for tuning in and spending a part of your lunchtime with us. If we did not get to your question today, don't worry. AB, our producer and project manager, collecting all the questions that came in, and we'll do our best to make sure those get answered as soon as we can. So keep an eye on your inbox and be sure to join us next week, where we'll bully a shark into learning Suite Script. I've been Bill, and thank you for completing the suite.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Thanks.